Well, hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess, chief cook, and doggy mama bopping to the tunes in the paddy wagon.
To the tunes. All right.
What do you think about my squatchy weird hair tonight?
It's pretty awesome.
I
Pretty squatchy.
I just threw a hat on it.
Yeah, there we go.
Because it's been a long day at work.
It has.
Hey, Renee, and Rock Band 500,000. I hope you're an actual new squatcher here and not just a troll. I'm going to have to ban from the room here later on. But, you know, we've had a couple issues lately.
Hey, Raptor, how you doing? Yes. How are we doing? We're doing good.
It's cold.
It is cold. It's stupid cold in Texas, which is ridiculous. But that seems to be
the entire freaking country.
Yeah, the South right now.
The whole country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did hear it was 71 in California and we needed to go to San Diego. I said no.
So
I'll be cold before I go back to California.
That's pretty cool. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burned it. Okay.
So have we bored them enough with our chitter chatter?
I think we have. We got a great show tonight, so let's get into it.
Squatch America, we're on the trail, chasing down the mystery through the rain and hail, with a knock on a tree and a howl in the night. With Squatch America, gonna get it right.
All right, so folks, tonight we had so much fun with our slideshow last week where we talked about all the stuff we had.
All of y'all released the freaking Kraken.
Yes, you have. No. So what I'm going to be talking about tonight is we're going to get into a little of my background.
Oh, just show the freaking slides.
And talk about what got me into this stuff, and then a little bit of, I don't know, would you call it my expertise? I guess
he's showing a slideshow.
Showing a slideshow.
I would leave the big words at the door.
All right.
I'm too tired to decipher them anyway. Ada says it's cold in West Virginia. Well, that makes sense though, because that's West Virginia.
Yep.
We came to Texas to not be cold.
Yeah, and it's been what, it was 21 last night?
It was 17 last night. It was
17 last night, yeah.
Or the night before, and that's only 3 degrees more than it was in our hometown.
Yeah.
Which is what we left to come be warm.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard the funniest joke on Facebook today.
What was that?
It said something like, all right, from a native Southerner, I'm not digging this polar vortex BS. So everyone take your fans and face them north and blow this blippity blip back where it belongs. That'll fix everything.
That will.
I'm there. We got a fan in the house. We'll blow it north.
Yeah. All right.
I got nothing to say tonight. So y'all are at his mercy.
Oh no. Oh no. So, well, folks, tonight we're going to be talking about Native American pictographs and Bigfoot.
Where's your script?
I don't have a script.
You had a script.
No, I don't.
You did.
So anyway,
okay.
What we're going to be talking about tonight is one of my passions. I often talk about how I'm an anthropologist, but there's many types and kinds of anthropologists. I'm a Native American cultural anthropologist, but I didn't study Native American cultures so much. I studied pictographs and petroglyphs. That was my thing. That was my little niche in
But that's part of culture, pictures.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is. It's still part of the culture, but I spent a lot of time deciphering these things, and talking with tribal members about pictographs.
So what
history.
What you're saying is that within even the title cultural anthropologist, there are lots of different specializations.
There is hundreds.
You can kind of choose your own adventure and make your own thing up.
Yeah, basically.
That's fair.
And so what you're looking at here in this picture is, you know, that's actually my hand that you're looking at. You want to check the fingerprints? There it is. But anyway,
Check your dermal
check my
ridges.
dermal ridges. There we go. I spent a lot of my time doing, you know, pictographs, studying pictographs and things like that in the Southwest. I mean, I did some in Central California, and I've done some up in the Pacific Northwest, but most of my time was in the Southwest. So all these pictographs here is where I spent a lot of time. And one of my favorite places on this planet is called Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. And all these photographs here you see right here are from Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. You know, there's literally shards of pottery in that valley, and you cannot walk without stepping on them. It's amazing. And there's a reason for that. But and then little tiny turquoise beads, you can pick them up off the ground everywhere. You're not allowed to take anything with you. Just, you can pick it up, look at it, and set it back. And then of course,
So where the heck did all those turquoise beads you brought home to me come from?
You don't know. Anyway,
or did you buy them at the gift shop?
I bought them at the gift shop. Okay, so anyway,
leave it to the tribes to have a gift shop everywhere you go.
Absolutely.
Good
That's
for
the
them.
thing. So oh, howdy Pappy, two bears. All right. So one of the things about Chaco Canyon, New Mexico is people don't realize this. It is immense. This right here is what's called Pueblo Bonito. This building's, of course, it's falling down because it's over 2,000 years old.
What's it called?
Pueblo Bonito.
Pueblo Bonito is falling down.
Oh, can't take her anywhere. Okay.
Hey, I can't help it. You planned a show with me. Got nothing for me to say.
Okay. Anyway, oh, there's stuff coming up. Maybe the news. Anyway,
I'm not
Pueblo.
Mexican. I'm not a Mexican girl though.
Yeah. So Pueblo Bonito, what you're seeing on the screen right here, is these here are what's called kivas. What you don't realize is this whole building here is a cultural and trade center. So they had like meetings and ceremonies, and they ground sacred corn, and this whole building here was just set up for trading ideas between tribes.
So today we would call that a Native American casino.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So what that
you have your event center and your shops and your restaurants and your presentation halls.
Well, it was more spiritual than that. So
people would cut you. They would fight you because for a lot of people, casino's pretty darn spiritual.
Yeah. To give you an idea, this here is a drawing of what it would look like if it was all still a piece. And if you see all these little white dots on the screen here, those are people. That gives you an idea of how big this place is. I mean, you can put 2,000 people in this thing. And those holes in the ground, like you see right here, are what they call kivas. That's here, but they have they're covered with a ceiling basically, and you walked out on it, and there's a ladder that went down in the middle and this inside. So you're basically a little bit underground while you're in here, so it's not so hot. This place is a hot place. It's in the Southwest, in the desert. But so it was like natural air conditioning built into these things. It's really cool, really awesome. And by the way, the lumber for this tree here would not have been here. Like I said, this is a depiction. They
AI nails it again.
Yeah, I know. I think this was drawn by somebody, but the tree was not here. There was no trees here. So the lumber they used in these things, they hauled over 50 miles north to get the lumber to build this place. Also, the people in this area, this is called
we've driven by that rock before.
No, we haven't.
Oh.
This is Fajada Butte, and she's thinking about
the boat, the ship.
the ship, whatever it's called, shiprock. This is not. This is called fajita. Now I got fajita on my brain. It's not that.
I can't read the sign.
Fajada butte. And the neat thing about this here is this is the observation. You're not allowed to go up there. It's kind of a sacred, and it's they save this place because they don't want people climbing up on top of this rock. You can get up there. There is a trail to get up there, but nobody's allowed to, because right here in this little nook is a very sacred thing that they have found. And there is a cave, and inside that cave is a pictograph on the wall. And the entrance of the cave is covered by 3 rocks. Now these rocks are set, they're flat rocks, they're 6 foot tall, they're laying up against the opening, kind of like this, so there's openings in them. And what they do is they allow light to come through the opening as a sliver. And on this pictograph on the wall, which is a spiral, the light only comes through these rocks as a sliver, and it only shows up on this thing 3 times a year. So how delicate is to stack rocks on the side of an opening to let light through, and it's kind of just a sliver of light. And the 3 times a year is it's in dead center when it's in the summer solstice. It's right here in the equinox on both sides, and then on the outside is the winter solstice.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So are you sure it shows up only 3 times a year or 4 times a year? Does it show up in the spring equinox or just?
Oh, it shows up in all the equinoxes.
So that would be 4 times a year.
4 times a year, just the equinoxes. And so
take a moment to breathe, because Pappy said something interesting. The Kivas may have had a connection to the ant people that sheltered the natives in the inner earth and showed them to the surface in antiquity.
Yes.
Very,
very much so. There's a hole. Some of the Kivas have holes that go into the ground.
So can you tell us about the ant people? I want to know about
well,
the ant people.
it's I'm not really super brushed up on them. I know the stories, especially from the Hopi, but the ant people are underground people. They're, well, ant people. Think about it this: coyote people, dog people.
Got
people.
you.
Okay.
Got you.
The ant people.
I thought you were going to say they might be, like the lizards.
Yeah, and the
lizard race.
No, the ant people, and it's said that the human race came from the ground, from the ant people. Open the ground and let them come out or something. I can't remember exactly. If I'm wrong, please put it in the chat and straighten me out. So everything else here is this is oh gosh, my brain just went away.
I don't know, but it's got some pretty purple plants in there.
Yeah, it does. It's
desert sage.
Yeah. This is I forgot what they call it. It's like the big kiva or the mega kiva. It's something like that. I forgot. It's been, how many years has it been since I've been there?
Okay, give me a minute and I will tell you exactly how many years. It's probably been 15 years.
15 years since I've been there.
15, 16 years, 17 maybe. So almost 2 decades.
Yeah, since I've been here. But anyway, this kiva here is ginormous. Okay.
It kind of looks like a Roman Colosseum.
Yeah, here's the hole that goes into the ground. That also lets cool air in here. Remember, this will be covered. This would have been covered. And there's a staircase to get down into it right here. But what's really cool about this one is there's only one freaking window in this whole thing. These are little cutouts that they put like little burning fires in for light, like little candles, or well, they didn't use candles, but anyway, this is the only window in the place, and the sunlight comes through this once a year in the summer solstice.
Where do they sacrifice the Virgin?
Well, that square lights up this square. right here. So this was the altar of some sort. I don't think they sacrificed people here, but I can't say they did or didn't. But
yeah, what are all those rock squares in the floor?
okay, these here would have been full of water. These two on the outside. And then this one here would be the altar that when the sun came through here, it lit up this just one time a year, one day a year.
And would that be at one of
The summer solstice.
The summer solstice. So, and for those of you up on paganism, I believe that would be Beltane.
Yeah.
Or something.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into the pictographs. So this pictograph here, I've got to see this with my own eyes. This is actually this picture really doesn't give it justice. There's a little rock outcropping on a cliff. So if you look up, this is underneath. You're on the ground looking straight up at this here. This is on the ceiling, basically. It's 35 feet up to that ceiling. It is kind of a little rock outcropping of a cliff. This photograph kind of shows this right here. But the interesting thing about this is depicting a solar flare that happened in 1054.
A solar flare?
A solar flare.
Not supernova.
Or supernova, yeah. That happened in 1054.
And a supernova is a star exploding, correct?
Yeah, something like that. And
I'm a little behind on my
and what's really interesting about that is it has the supernova, it has the explosion, and the hand here. Now, in this culture, Native American culture, you point with your hand like this. You point like this.
So how meant
turn around and go the other way.
Not hello.
Not hello. It meant turn around and go the other way.
Okay.
Yes. A star exploded in 1054. They marked it down right here. And this hand is pointing the exact direction from where you're standing on Earth, where you would have seen that in the sky at night. It's pretty amazing. They actually, some history right there. Now, we're going to talk about, there are thousands of pictographs in Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. Thousands of them. So it is,
obviously this is where they told their stories.
Yes.
Like the walls in Egypt where all the hieroglyphs are.
Yes, basically this is the same thing. They told all their stories that what happened here. But I said this was a cultural center. I could say the truth about this story, but I won't.
Why? Oh, you can't. No, now you got to tell it.
Okay, so there was a disease. You know how the white man came here and spread his disease to the natives, and a lot of people died from plague and stuff that the Native Americans smallpox and things that the Native Americans didn't have. But little did you know, the Native Americans had diseases that they shared with the white man that the white man had never had before. It went both ways. This depiction is a guy here, and you see his
manly parts.
Yeah, his manly part is leaking. It's called syphilis, or the clap. You see this here, and the tube. Okay, I'm just saying.
So this is a commercial for why you need to have safe relations.
Exactly.
Okay. You're so embarrassed.
That was a warning. All right. So anyway,
don't sleep with them native girls, right?
Yeah, moving right along.
Okay.
This is probably, this is my favorite pictograph in Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. I actually spent a whole summer studying just this symbol. And what's really interesting about
You
it,
know what cracks me up
uh-huh.
is that they pay people to stand and look at rocks.
Yeah, hey, can't beat that.
Well, based on what they've been paying people to do the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yes, but
So
how cool is that?
I got to spend an entire summer staring at this rock. And I actually wrote a paper on it. The paper is actually in the Smithsonian right now.
With your name on it.
With not my name on it, but anyway, so this
God bless academia.
yeah. So this depiction right here is a pyramid. There's the route. You go up this side, you go down the stairs on this side. This here is the stairs. And this is the entrance to the front. And so this is actually a pyramid in New Mexico. Just letting you know.
Well, so tell us
we
how
don't know where it is. It's never been actually found, but the story says that it's there somewhere. So
wouldn't it be cool to
yes.
find it?
Yeah, it's a pyramid from the top. If you're looking at the top point is right here. Yeah.
So, and that's different than an Egyptian pyramid, because Egyptian pyramids were 3-sided and these are 4-sided.
4-sided, yeah.
That's what makes Egyptian pyramids different from Aztec.
Yeah. So
and Aztecs used fringy lace on theirs, it looks like.
Those are stairs.
Okay.
Anyway, so I wanted to point that out because so I said this was a cultural center, exchange center. This is where the North American natives traded culture, ideas, and stuff with the Aztec and Mayan culture. While we were there, we found skeletons of parrots, which aren't native to New Mexico. We found jars.
But they are to South America.
But they are to South America. And we found caches of jars of chocolate, powdered cacao beans from South America. They actually sent the chocolate into the Hershey Corporation, who has one of the biggest chocolate labs in the world, and they have all the, like, I don't know, chocolate DNA. I don't know if that's a thing, but they can tell you where that chocolate came from. And so the chocolate that was in these jars were actually from South America. So that was pretty cool.
I want to get up to the man and his dog.
What?
The other 2 pictures on there.
What, the man and his dog?
Yeah.
That's not a man and a dog. That's a frog god, and that's a deer. Okay, so.
Well, tell us about the frog and the deer then.
And that's a snake. Okay.
And the snake.
Okay, no. It has to do with no. Okay. We'll get there someday. Stop.
No.
What?
Pappy says, good thing you explained this. Otherwise, I would have thought it was Scott yelling at Daisy May to come back home.
Exactly. All right.
We did something. Hey, we need to take a break. You've just been talking. You might have to do part 2 next week.
No. Okay.
We taught Daisy to pull a cart.
We did.
Keeps her from running away.
It does.
Yeah, give her a job to do. And I think I'm going to have her pull the cart to the laundromat later this week. Anyway, I know we should do an ad real quick.
We should do an ad. All right. I can do that.
Break,
I can push a button. Here we go. At Squatch America, we're not just searching for Bigfoot. We are giving back to those who serve. Every donation through YouTube and Patreon helps us to support the Fallen Outdoors, a veterans-led organization who takes heroes out hunting, fishing, and camping. But that's not all. We take veterans on real Bigfoot research expeditions, where they can enjoy the great outdoors and maybe, just maybe, discover something legendary. Join us in giving back. Support Squatch America today for the adventure, for the veterans, and for the wild. Yeah, so just a reminder that if you go to and join our Patreon, there's the address below. All the money we get from our Patreon helps us to support veterans and take them out on these expeditions. And
just to support the organization.
We also send money to the organization to help stop the 22 veterans a day that take their lives.
Okay, go back to the comments, bub.
Okay. All right, so shall we go back to, oh wait, maybe I need to take that down, and then we can go back to our this. All right, so we're going to move this to the next exciting thing that happened in my life after Chaco Canyon, New Mexico, is discovering that Bigfoot and the Native American culture. What's really cool about this is these are Native American masks, and they depict basically Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I have found other masks that have are people, but there's something interesting when you're in the pictographs and these masks, the symbology. You need to look at fine details. If you just look at it and just glance at them and say, hey, that's a person or whatever, you know, you need to look at the fine details, and there is fine details in all this stuff that people don't pay attention to. And this is what I've done for 17 years now, according to Hannah. So anyway, so if you look at the fine details on these things, the pictographs, the masks, they show a certain, what I call, I guess the big word is morphology in here. And even from the past to today, we have the same morphology. So if you take a good look at these masks real quick, 3, 2, 1, look at these drawings today. This here is a lovely lady named Yvonne, and if she's watching, hi. Sorry we're not going to be at the shows this year, the sportsman shows, but this lady here, she actually saw these two young Bigfoot playing, and she's an artist, and she drew those pictures, and she was nice enough to pass them along to us.
You might want to make your screen bigger.
Okay. So here's the actual drawings. So what's really cool about these is it has the same morphology as the masks. And one of the cool things she said is she liked watching the little girl braid her hair. And if you can see the braid right there. So if you look really close at the morphology of these things, they all have, from like these modern day photos, that's my photo. This is, of course, the Patterson film. And these are Native American masks. We're going to talk about this one here particularly in a minute. But they all have the same thing. Big brow ridges, little button noses, flat, wide mouths. So that's what we see today and what the natives saw in the past. This mask right here is carved out of wood. It is from, it's called the Shim tribe from British Columbia, Canada. So they have a long oral tradition of Bigfoot that goes back forever. And the tribe says this mask is ancient, This map's actually carbon dated to be 500 years old from British Columbia. So if you think the Native Americans 500 years ago knew what a gorilla looked like, you'd be wrong. They didn't. So now we're going to go into, I'm going to race through some of this stuff because I want to get through this. But so this got me into doing the Native American Bigfoot pictographs. So these are two of the most famous ones. In the, you know, that people attribute to Bigfoot. I'm not so sure about this one myself, but this one I'm positive about. These are some that are from all over the different United States, and this is one I found myself, January 2022, near Richland, Oregon. Renee could go check that one out. I can text you the coordinates, but anyway, it is right here in Eastern Oregon. This is the ancient areas, not the modern day areas, but the Nez Perce tribe. I would kind of attribute this to Nez Perce. I won't do it 100%, but I would lean that direction, whether it was Cayuse or Nez Perce. I'm kind of leaning towards the Nez Perce because I think that's closer to the area, but it's right on the line. So this symbol came, it had 3 symbols on this pictograph. I'm going to enhance it here so you can see it a little bit better. But the center symbol is what most Native American pictographs are about: directions. They're maps. But this one here is kind of different. This here is a map saying go up the trail, go around the valley on either side, doesn't matter, and then continue the trail. Don't go through the middle. And that's because of this pictograph next to it. This pictograph next to it is what's known as a Slender Man. And the one that's in California, this is in Porterville, California, this pictograph, this one's 8 feet tall, this one's 9 inches tall. But that's basically danger, danger, Will Robinson. Don't go near it. Don't you know, bad juju, bad place. So if you go back to here, go around the valley, bad place, Bigfoot. So if you looked at pictographs here, the one in California and the one that I found, you notice the little details. Long body, no neck, arms out and down to show the size, how big it is. Long torso, short legs. I mean, this one here and this one here are nearly identical. But what's interesting about this one here, this is the one in California, something that I picked out on this pictograph, I mean, there have been Bigfoot, people wrote books about this forever, but I had never really studied it myself until I looked really close at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're missing something. I mean, this tells a story about a hunting party with a man down. There could have been a ghost Bigfoot up here, I'm not sure. This is a water spring with deer by it, and they found footprints. Danger, danger, Bigfoot, right? And this means Bigfoot drives a Mercedes. No, I have no idea what this symbol means. But what?
You want to take a breather?
Why?
Because
okay.
Renee said send her the coordinates. Gordon was talking about the braids. You missed the whole braids.
Okay.
Being seen in other sightings as well as other head decorations.
Yep.
And Raptor wants to know if there's a website for everything you're talking about.
Well, not ours. There's books. There's not many anthropological websites. It's just not a thing. But Kathy Strain did a book that has all these Native American stories on them. It's called what? Monsters. I got the book. I can't get up and get it, but look up Kathy Strain in her book. Okay.
A while back, we did a video on like our favorite Bigfoot books. You can look that one up on YouTube, or maybe we could send it out in next week's email.
We
You can
can.
find that episode, and I'll include it in next
Okay.
week's email.
All right. Well, what's interesting about this pictograph that I don't think people picked up on, that I did, was these two symbols right here. If I hadn't spent much time in Chaco Canyon and other places looking at pictographs, you would not know what these are.
But let's see if people in the chat do know what they
Yes.
are. Throw it in the chat
So
if you
so here's
have
a
a
symbol.
guess on what those are.
What do you think those are? I'm waiting. While you're doing that, we'll do the news really quick and tell you what's coming up. How's that sound? We can do that. Let's see if I can do my fancy thing I want to do. Here we go. All right, what's coming up, Hannah?
We're going to Wisconsin in May.
We're going to Wisconsin in May. Yep.
That's about it.
Actually, there's another one that we may be doing. I'm not sure yet, so I'm not going to say where. But so if you want to join us in Wisconsin, here's a QR code. If you want to get tickets, we're going to be there with Stacy Brown. I can't read it from here.
Stacy Brown Jr., Miranda Young, us, Chad Lewis, Angela Zabel, Barnaby, and
the CAPS team.
And the CAPS team.
Everybody. So, so this is a paranormal, and so they're going to be talking about ghosts and
all the things.
All the things. So
that should be fun.
It'll be fun. So, Hannah.
What?
Tell us about Wild Squatch Wellness.
Wild Squatch Wellness
happening?
Is almost up to 500 likes on Facebook. So go to Wild Squatch Wellness on Facebook and like the business page. We are coming very, very close to releasing our first physical product. And some of you have already gotten that in your email, but we have got basically a proprietary insect repellent that we researched late last year, and this year we are going to start to sell it. So we'll be having a pre-launch on I've already sent pre-emails out for people to get on the mailing list to get more information. We'll start our Indiegogo pre-launch next month for a few weeks, and then we'll have about 6 weeks where you can pre-order special packages. But this is not like going to your local Rite Aid and buying a can of off.
No.
This stuff actually works.
And it's all natural. Very,
yeah.
Very historic Native American herbal type stuff. That
okay.
Works. Well, not just Native American.
Yeah, but Wild Squatch Wellness is dedicated to, among other things, providing natural self-care resources versus chemical.
Yeah.
So
and a little thing about this stuff, it's actually good for your skin. It's bug repellent, and it's also helps stop poison ivy.
Yeah, it does. It can provide some protection against poisonous plants.
Yep.
So
there we go. So after the Wisconsin thing, we're going to be moseying through this part of the country. If you see that red line and you think you're somewhere near it, go ahead and email us at squatchamerica.com at squatchamerica@gmail.com. And if you want to meet up sometime,
this is where we'll be.
This is where we'll be in that particular area.
We are going to go to Massachusetts at some point while we're there.
Or on the way back.
Well, sometime, because I want to see that monument that's in Massachusetts.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
And of course, if you haven't caught up, I am doing a series of survival videos, and we're launching them every Monday. It's not super bushcraft, expert stuff. What this is basic survival stuff, so you can survive in the woods if you get lost. It's the basics. We're going to get into more complicated stuff, but right now we're going through the basics because of the two gentlemen that just recently passed away in Washington State when they were out Bigfooting and weren't prepared for the weather and got lost. So I'm doing this to help keep Squatchers Live. So, and my background in that is I went through the military SEER course, which is the survival, escape, and evasion stuff. So,
So he knows how to get by out
I
there.
know how to get by out there. All right. So what else is there? Then our normal Friday videos are having fun with them. I got a myth buster one coming up this Friday. So that's the news.
And by the way, all these videos that we're cranking out, that is why we took a year off of doing shows for the most part.
Yeah.
'Cause
We want to
I
crack
don't think
out some
people
videos.
realize how hard YouTubers work.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like we have some comments. Do we have some guesses?
So do we have to guesses what this is?
Angie said they're spear checkers.
Don. Oh, Angie does. That's Don posted it. Angie said they're but Angie cheated because she's seen this presentation live.
517 times.
But you win the prize. I don't know what that is, but Angie wins the prize. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these are atlatls.
Or spear checkers.
An atlatl is a spear throwing device. It's used to lengthen your arm, so a longer lever means more force. So when you're throwing spears, you're basically lengthening your arm and adding weight to it, so you can throw a projectile farther, faster, and even more accurately. What's really interesting about this is if you look at the symbols, and these are the actual atlatls that would have been used at this time period in this place. Oops, same thing.
They were actually very pretty.
Yeah.
I can tell you from experience that if you have bad aim to begin with, though, they won't help.
Yeah. But here's the interesting.
I have something like that for the dog.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. This is on that Bigfoot pictograph in Central California. Okay. The Yakut or Tulare Indian area were in that area. Maybe even the Miwoks, Paiute.
The Southern Band Miwoks.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this symbol being on this rock is the Native Americans in that area switched to using bows were invented. Now, in Europe, they were invented about 10,000 BC. In North America, where this was, it was about 3,000 years ago that the Native Americans quit using atlatls and started using bows. So if there's atlatls on this pictograph, what does that mean? Is this pictograph 3,000 years old?
Or more.
Or more?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you think. Oh, that next slide is not showing up.
There's nothing there.
Weird.
Mike Prine said that he lived in Tulare.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So here's the depictions of Bigfoot. No neck, arms out, down, long torso, short legs. Like I said, I'm not too sure about this one here, but it does have.
Looks more like an alien.
I know, but it does have the big brow ridge on it,
and the button nose,
and the flat mouth. So it's meeting those criteria too.
And it has big feet.
It has big feet.
And the arms
that's
out
not
to the
always
side.
true though. But anyway,
I think it's an alien.
Yeah. So
I think everything's an alien.
So this is quite possibly the oldest depiction of Bigfoot.
What would you date the one on the left, the one from Richland?
The one on the left from Richland? Oh, I have no idea. I couldn't. Well, they're using red ochre to paint it with. So I would say at least 500 years old or more. So there's that. So here's another one in Oregon that I found myself that is totally awesome. And this is a little known or unknown one to most of the Bigfoot community. And this is the one.
We've driven by that a couple times.
Yeah, we have.
Kenneth has a quick story. If you want
Okay.
to take a breather before
Yeah,
you.
sure. What's
Yeah.
he say?
Ken apparently saw one, I'm assuming a Bigfoot,
Uh-huh.
in 1969. That was a big year for Bigfoot.
Uh,
On a creek in Tennessee. During the day, he walked 100 yards up to me, like, man, stopped 20 yards from me. I got a good look at him. Then he turned his back, stepped into the creek.
that's awesome.
That is a great encounter story.
Yeah. And in fact, if you want
SquatchAmerica.com, go to the report form.
report form, fill that out, and then we can get in touch and talk about it. And then
Mhm.
when we go through Tennessee, we'll stop by and
I found some lovely property
yeah,
in Tennessee.
I found some property in Tennessee she liked. All right, so let's get back to this cool pictograph. I only got 15 minutes. And I got to get through this. I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones. Like I said, nobody knows about this one. It is in Central Oregon. I'm not going to tell you where because we need to preserve it. So if you look at this pictograph, here's the whole pictograph. This section up here is actually kind of interesting. If you know anything about pictographs, this right here is graffiti. I meant the whole pictograph is not, but just this section up here is graffiti. Back in the 1800s, when the white man came through in the wagons, a lot of times they would leave messages on pictographs with other pictographs. This one here is trying to maybe tell the natives that we're friends. Look, we're holding hands. But how you can tell this is graffiti is you can see the scratch marks in this going up and down. And these here are dots, little dots in the rock. The Native Americans pecked little dots into the rock to draw their pictures with. The white men just kind of scraped it up and down. So so this here is scraped. This is a pictograph where you pick holes in the rock, or petroglyph. And plus there's like letters here. I think that's an H, an E, and an S up here across the top of it. The natives did not use English letters in their pictographs. So let's go to, this is the part that really tells the story. And this is the best. This is so awesome. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Okay. I'm listening and I'm looking something else. So
okay,
just tell your story.
So we're going to start with this symbol here. This symbol here is a bear claw. Kind of obvious, you know. Okay. This is depicted on this pictograph in very large too. So that means caution, this area has lots of bears in it. That's kind of like, be safe out there. And to let you know that the Native Americans here do know what bears look like. They actually depicted two bears. Here's the big bear paw. Here's the two bears that are depicted here where they saw the bears. We'll get in details and directions here in a minute. So you got the bear paw, you got the two bears. What is that? They know the difference between the bear paw and this. And you saw the drawing of the bear. Then what is this? No neck, arms out and down, long torso, short legs. Well, in the Northwest pictograph symbol catalog, I would call that Bigfoot. So this tells a story.
Mike Prine asked 6 toes?
Absolutely. We're going to get to that in a minute too. 6 toes. So this tells a story of Bigfoot hunting deer along this river. These squiggly lines are always rivers. Okay. These two rivers converge down here. So we can probably find this area. If we can figure out where these two rivers in this area converge. There's more of the story, you know, down here, but it got broke off, so we don't know what the rest of the story is.
Did you ever use Google Maps to try to figure it out?
No, I did not. I did, but I'm not sure yet. which rivers they were. Anyway, so this is this pictograph. So here we go. Here's 4 illustrations of Native Americans talking about Bigfoot. So it goes way back in time before you saw these pictures, like in October 7th, 1958, or October 17th, 1968, in the same basic vicinity too, by the way. That's a whole nother topic about dates and times and maybe migrations. But here's all the Native American things that I have found that meet the criteria. Like I said, this was my area of expertise. I spent a long time learning this crap. That meet the criteria of Bigfoot symbology. This one here, I brought these up for a reason. I want to show you some depictions here that's kind of interesting. Of course, like this one here, you see the big eyebrows, button nose, flat mouth. You got that symbol there. But I want to point these two out. And this, we're going to get into some interesting things. This one here has a bow. And he has a neck. He might have big feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. Just saying. This symbol here, a lot of people equate this to Bigfoot because it does have like the no neck. Well, it kind of has a neck because it doesn't have this slope down, but it has these horns on the top. This right here is actually a young Navajo man on his first hunt. I have spent some time speaking with the Navajo elders, and this is something they have historically done.
So this is a Navajo.
This is, yeah, this
Petroglyph.
would be in the Navajo area. So in this area, when you're on, this is the whole story about a hunt. Look at the deer, look at them shooting them. This is after the white man got here because they got horses. So before that, they didn't have horses, by the way. So this way here would be, is a young man. They dress him up like a deer and send him out to hunt. So this is that whole depiction. Look, there's another guy here, another young man. So 2 young men were on this hunt.
Looks like quite a party on that wall.
It is. It tells there's a lot of stuff they found. A lot of deer. Here's the rivers. There's a river there. There's another river that goes up here. That kind of gives you an idea. If you know where this river is, you know where the deer are. It's here. But if you notice in here, you got there's a bear print. This here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's 4 toes, 5 toes on that one, 5 toes on that one, 5 toes on this one.
6 toes on that one in the middle.
Okay, so this looks like a trail, basically. But if you go up here in the corner, up here, which is away from everybody else, not part of the story, big, wide, flat foot with 6 toes.
They all have 6 toes.
Yep. That's how they differentiated the Native American people toes.
Are those 2 crossed?
No,
Kind of looks like it.
that's a person's one. Maybe they have. Maybe they did. I don't know. Might be a cripple foot. Oh, that's different. I just thought of that. That might be a cripple foot. We know that's a real thing. That could be a cripple foot. Oh, might be the first depiction of Cripplefoot. Oh my gosh.
Aren't you grateful for my little
Yes.
interruptions?
I was interrupted and now I learned something. I'm gonna have to get into that one. But anyway, so like I said, these are separate from everywhere else. So basically these here, and I didn't talk too much about this mask, but these are 3 depictions that Hannah and I have actually laid our own personal eyes on.
Yeah, we're driven by both of them many times.
Yeah. And this one here is actually in a Native American Cultural Museum. They don't know what they have in there, but
Is that the one?
that's on Highway 101 in Northern California, right before you get into Oregon. It's
So,
called
the mystery trees.
Yeah, the Trees of Mystery, I think
Trees
it's
of
called.
mystery.
There's a Native American Culture Museum, and this is in there.
So Pappy said that the red-haired giants were described as having 6 toes and 6 fingers, supposedly. So were the Philistines
So are
in
the
the Hebrew
Philistines. Yeah,
scriptures.
true story.
Yep.
So a lot of
Maybe
these.
David killed a Bigfoot with his slingshot.
Yeah. Never know. So how much this stuff is related. But if you can see this, you got the big brow edge, you got the flat button nose and the flat mouth in there. This is actually carved out of whalebone. So it's pretty interesting. So if you want to see this, is actually, if you're in Northern California or Southern Oregon, Highway 101, the Trees of Mystery, and it's pretty awesome. It's in the redwood. You can go see some beautiful redwood trees too.
Yes, and climb a lot of hills.
Okay.
Look at your steps in that big.
Yeah.
Raptor says that he guesses Bigfoot has been interbreeding for a long, long time. Well, Bigfoot doesn't really have a choice, because what else is he going to breed with?
Yeah.
There aren't a whole lot of, how do I phrase this? I mean, human beings have an awful lot of variety. There's a lot. We've got a huge gene pool.
Mm-hmm.
Bigfoot doesn't have a huge gene pool.
Not.
Well, okay.
Okay. So the reason I'm kind of whining a little bit about that one is the fact that maybe there's not just one type of Bigfoot. I would put it this way. There's white people, there's black people, there's Asian people.
Yeah.
So there might be different versions of Bigfoot that are the same, but
let me
different.
rephrase that. The population isn't very big. You're not going to have a big gene pool if you don't have a large population. There are 8 billion of us crawling on this planet. There are probably less than 1 million Bigfoot themselves.
So, yeah, true. And here's another thing I want to throw out there, which now that cripple foot thing is in my head now. One of this, our Squatch Americans, Donna, found a cripple foot in October of 2021 in Vermont. Of course, there's a famous cripple foot that was found in Washington in 1969 and 1970. One of the things that we studied in anthropology is there's a group of people in Africa called the ostrich people because their feet look like ostrich feet. They only have 2 toes, giant toes like ostriches. And that's a matter of this little isolated village. The inbreeding is so great that they started getting defects.
Like 3 toes.
Like 3 toes or 2 toes. So they're called the ostrich people. And the reason that is inbreeding. So if Bigfoot's having problems with inbreeding, the first thing that goes in an upright walking primate is the feet. Now, abnormalities in the feet. So there we go, cripple foot.
So we've got a couple things here.
Okay.
I want to tell Raptor, I think it's totally possible that Bigfoot species and various human species could possibly be compatible. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all, especially.
Actually, there has been stories.
Yeah, and so that makes perfect, especially if you.
Where was that? Russia?
I don't know.
A young lady had a Bigfoot baby. Yeah,
but
I think.
I was going to say, if you subscribe to the theory that I do, which is that humans themselves are a result of Bigfoot and something else, we are their offspring. Like, we came from Bigfoot with influence from other off-world species, but So that's perfectly plausible to my way of thinking. And Gordon says that he wonders if they travel to different areas to have gatherings so the bloodline doesn't become too concentrated.
I think they do. I think there's a lot. I have a very strong leaning towards that. They do migrate. Because if you look at the Bigfoot mapping project and you start looking at dates and where people have sightings, it's like all these sightings in this area is in October. All these sightings in this area is in January. You know, so if you start looking at stuff like that, yeah, I think they do. I think they have small family groups, and then when the kids get old enough, they kick them out and they have to venture off across the country to find another, a mate, and then they settle down. So it may be miles, it may be hundreds of miles. Or,
well, we know that other mammals do that.
Yeah, other mammals do that too. So yeah.
And just most desirably, except for those mothers who can't seem to cut the cord. I mean, that's what we like our human children to go forth and raise your own. So, hey Ben, good to see you here. Renee asked me what if they're interdimensional. Okay, so I gotta qualify this. I don't think the whole interdimensional thing is off the table, but I do think that based on what we've seen at Bigfoot, even if they are quote interdimensional, they're much more tied to this planet like we are than we think they are. And if there is something beyond our normal everyday thing happening, it's not very often. That's just kind of where I fall.
Yeah, Renee, go back a few weeks in our Footprint Friday playlist. There's an interdimensional porthole video.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I'm a lot more open to that than this guy is, but I do think that they are more terrestrial than not. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Raptor, we think they migrate. We don't think they migrate like the birds. They're not going to leave North America and go, winter in Argentina. But we have noticed a travel pattern of 100 to 200 miles.
Yeah,
like a territory.
And
they migrate
we do that
up
in like almost 4 year.
A 4-year cycle.
4-year cycle. Like they're in Eastern Oregon, the Blue Mountains, say one date, and
the next year they're over in the Sawtooth.
They're in the Sawtooth, Idaho, and then the next year they're down in Strawberry in Southern Oregon, and then next year they might be in the Cascades. So what I found in, like, when I had my sighting and the reports we got where I grew up in Eastern Oregon and in the Blue Mountains, they tend to be a 4-year cycle. We'll get a bunch of sightings, and then 4 years later we'll get a bunch of sightings,
which is not too different than we see a lot of the migratory Native American tribes.
Exactly.
And so if you kind of connect the idea of the Native American tribes having, coexisting well with this species and learning from this species, we're going to follow the Squatch because they know where to go. Cold, they know where to go when food runs out here, earlier in the days. So, anyway, and Ken's been sharing a lot of his encounters. We would really like to hear more from you. So go to our website and fill out a thing. But he did say they do follow the black bear, and that's been consistent with what we found. Is that where you have black bear, you are more likely to find evidence of Bigfoot. Hey, Doc Ock. So, by the way, short-faced bears did go extinct thousands. They were part of the How do you say it? Pleistocene? Pleistocene?
Paleocene.
No, please. Anyway, long eons ago. Anyway.
Okay. So all that. Yeah. No. Actually, during the Ice Age.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, when we believe that the Native Americans came across the Bering Strait into America from China, in the first 500 years, they wiped out 4 species. So,
man, we were Anyway, so Ben says that over where he is, which is over near the Central Oregon coast,
Didn't you
somewhere
hear
in there.
Tillamook somewhere? I don't know, somewhere up there.
He's getting more reports about them crossing the highways.
This time of year. Awesome.
Yep. Go out.
Do a stakeout.
Yeah. Stay warm, buddy. Stay warm.
And stay warm.
All right. Well, we are at 6 minutes past the
we
hour. And so which ad are we closing with, or are we skipping?
We can skip an ad, I guess.
Okay.
Just remember, go follow us on please go follow us on our Patreon, or you can join as a member here on
It's
Facebook.
$1.99 a month.
$1.99 a month.
I don't think you can get a cup of coffee at McPukey Donald's for that.
Can't. And we greatly appreciate it. The vets would greatly appreciate it. And
like, subscribe, share. We are starting to come back from the shadow ban, hoping that recent events in our national drama will make it easier for the algorithms to get our stuff out there. We actually took down the video that started the whole mess.
Yeah.
And we have actually seen an uptick in views and subscribers since that time. Yeah. So anyway, I guess we're at the end.
Okay. So, folks.
With that said, remember.
I can never find that one.
I know.
It's way up here at the top somewhere. That's why.
Oh, my goodness. Our job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
So you keep watching.
And we'll keep squatching.
Now, go out and find Bigfoot.
That damn Sasquatch.
The squatch and they're searching, they're cracking some jokes. It's Scott